Forcing ourselves to get started through deadlines, shame, or asking others to push us can leave us feeling exhausted. But when we use a visit-based approach, rather than one that's based in force, you support yourself in a way that many of my students have described as relieving, and more than that, they're amazed at how they can get more done and still have energy at the end of the day because they're not fighting themselves. You've probably done this before, and you just didn't realize what went into it. But once you become conscious of the components and what's needed, it can make a tremendous difference in how you start approaching different aspects of your life. In the Waves of Focus course, we get into how visits can become a basis for arranging your days, weeks, and beyond, helping you to get to things that you want to do, to enjoy yourself, to feel like you're on top of things and you're responsible, to arrange your days however you want and still have spontaneity, know what you can't take on, and more clearly be able to say no when you need to, and more. So what is a visit? It's simply this. It means being with something, whatever it is you've chosen to be with, preferably with distractions set aside, for at least a single deep breath worth of time. That's it. You don't have to do any more than that. No work at all. Another way of phrasing it is show up, then decide. Throughout, you get to keep your sense of agency, your sense of decision at all times. You never have to fool yourself, and you never have to force yourself. It may not seem like much to show up and do nothing, but every visit you make creates a wave of focus, each with a beginning, middle, and end, whether it's difficult trudge, smooth sailing, or choppy waters. When you see this sort of wave, this wave of focus, you can recognize the effort of an approach and think, okay, what does it take to make that approach easier or smoother? At some point, simply being there, you reach that edge of action, where it's as easy to nudge the work forward as it is to walk away. Completely your decision. And if you can be there, if you can reach that single deep breath at the edge of action, you might even discover that place where there's a little curiosity, that little, what if I just did a little bit of this? And then with that, you might even start that roller coaster, that beginning to tip into a full work session. Or you can do nothing at all. It's fully your decision. You can leave at any time, whenever you feel like it. What's neat is that you don't have to feel like doing the work to be there. You tune into the work as you are there. And if you still don't feel like it while you're there, that's fine. So long as you were there for a single conscious deep breath of time, you've done the work. If you're not done, or if nothing happens at all, that's fine. Each wave is infinitely more than no wave at all. And at this point, your conscious and unconscious mind has begun to process the actual work rather than leaving it in some vague state. And what's neat is that you don't have to feel like it to be there. You tune into the work as you are there. If you still don't feel like it, that's fine. So long as you were there for that single conscious deep breath of time, you've done the emotional work, which is the core of the visit-based system. Certainly there's more to consider, like what about the rest of the work? How do I make the approach easier? How do I avoid rabbit trails? What do I do to avoid that chaotic flow where I'm stuck in it and I can't seem to get out? Or how do I set things aside in the end, or make sure that I come back? Any and all of these are possible. They all relate to those phases of the waves of focus that I pointed out here, and each can be practiced. If you're interested, consider a free PDF, your first step to breaking free from force-based work, available at wavesoffocus.com/free PDF.